Stop impressing people and start impressing yourself. My name is Daphné V. I graduated from St. John's in 2009. I subsequently did my master's at St. John's in Rome. Shout out to the Rome campus. And ever since then, I've been a proud St. John's alum. So here's a little bit about myself. After graduating from St. John's, I had the opportunity to work at a number of places, including international organizations. During my time at St. John's, I had the opportunity of working at one of the best financial institutions in the world. And then after St. John's, I had the opportunity of going to law school. And in law school, I learned so much about myself intellectually, but also that Vincentian mission of service. It persisted throughout my entire time in school. And so while I was in law school, we founded a company called Startnoo that helps people pay for school by giving an impact in the community. And I definitely have St. John's to thank for that. I don't think that we would be able to be so forward in service orientation without having that St. John's background. So fortunately, we were able to pivot a few times, and today's version of Startnoo is a university-centered model that allows for students on campus to give impact and graduate debt-free. So I've grown my network in a variety of ways. St. John's was super instrumental in developing my own network outside of my family. And I'm really grateful to all of the organizations. So when I was in St. John's, there was something called the President's Society. I hope it's still there. So it allowed for you to essentially meet some of the most influential supporters at St. John's, to be honest. It was a great opportunity. And that was, I would say, what catapulted my network. I met, CFOs of Fortune 50 companies. I was connected with and still have ongoing mentoring conversations with very successful people who accomplished a lot. And, St. John's network is so amazing. And the fact that St. John's is so generous about sharing that is one of the things that I love most about my alma mater. All of the student organizations, you would think being in a student organization is a throwaway activity. But at St. John's, you were connected with actual members in the community. So if you were in College Republicans or College Democrats, you actually had relationships with elected officials at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level. And my friends who were in those student organizations still have those close relationships with people that are currently literally running the country. So go St. John's. I think that whether you're in a student organization or whether you eventually join President's Society, any sort of engagement gives you an opportunity to expand your network. And then the professors, I want to shout out Professor Levenis, but I also don't want to make anybody else mad at me. But, just my relationships with professors and administrators like Dean Blanchot, who I don't think he's still there, but he was my dean back then. They actually connected me with people. So just by nature of being a student at St. John's, whether you're a commuter, I was mostly a commuter, or you live on campus, you have the opportunity of connecting with people. And through having those meaningful relationships, right? When you're a student, you don't have a lot to ask for and you have a lot to give. So it's the perfect time to create relationships with people you admire. I'm most inspired by my parents. My parents have played an instrumental role in Black modern history, you could call it. As an example, my father was the first Black chiropractor in Mississippi. And just giving that as having my father as an example was amazing, because I have his stories from way back when what it was like to be the only doctor. There are instances where patients would come to see him and be surprised that he was Black and walk away. And society has changed so much in that things like that don't happen as frequently anymore. So it was super cool to grow up with my father's connections and his impact. The things that he did were really inspiring. And then my mom was, as a Black woman, able to work pretty at a senior level at the United Nations, which was really cool to see a Black woman sort of changing the world at a young age. And so those were my examples growing up as a child. That's what I saw. That's what I came to see as normal. And I was fortunate that their friends were all doing, very cool things. So the beauty of growing up in Mississippi during, or I don't want to say what year it was because I'll age myself, but in my childhood growing up in Mississippi, the beauty was that I saw examples of people changing history every day. And they did a great job of, at a young age, giving us cultural lessons. So we would go to camp where we learned about our history. And that was just a really cool experience, I think. So what does that mean today? I think today, when I read Maya Angelou, I take something different out of it. When I'm going in to read Maurice Sixto, a Haitian author, I take something different out of it. I'm taking Jacques Roumet, I'm taking different things out of these novels because of my experiences. And that's really a blessing that my parents gave me. One lesson that I would share with my childhood self is to stop impressing people and start impressing yourself. So stop paying attention to what other people expect of you. I think there's a saying in Stoicism where to take everything neutrally. It's not a saying, but the principle in Stoicism is to take experiences in life neutrally. And I think that's a great principle that I wish my younger self knew, that, the good things weren't so good and the bad things weren't so bad, that instead, life was just a series of experiences that were all working towards making me the person that I am today. And so I wish in the past that I paid less attention to meeting expectations, so being the person that I thought I was supposed to be, instead of focusing on what my passion was and who I wanted to be. So I think that's what I would say to my past self. And to my future self, I would say, I hope you're sleeping. I hope you're sleeping. I hope you are enjoying life, and I hope you're not working, 24/7. Maybe you could say we're making history in the terms that we created a new category of company. So I'm not aware of any companies at our scale that are in this niche, the niche of allowing for people to pay back their student loans while making an impact in the community. I'm not aware. Maybe it exists, but if it does exist, hi, how are you? We should meet and do a conference or something. But to my knowledge, we're one of the first people in this space, which I guess that's how I would be making history. Yeah, so I give two gems. My gem for up and coming students is to think about your purpose in life and to make sure every action that you take while you're in school helps you live your purpose. So spending time, no matter how long it takes, if it takes a few months, if it takes a few years, to figure out your purpose will help you multiple fold throughout your life. in terms of making the right actions and knowing whether or not you're making the right decision. So the more time you spend on making sure you're in alignment, the better you'll be with and the happier you'll be actually with the outcome of your life decisions. And then for people who are currently in school, I would say financial freedom equals freedom in life. So if you are able to graduate debt-free, I would really encourage students to think about how they can graduate debt-free so that when you take a job, you're not taking a job only because you need the money, but you're taking a job because you know that you are the best person to give impact to that space. You are the best person to leave room for your clients. You are the best person to leave a legacy. And we don't have to start thinking about our legacy when we are in, our golden years. We can start thinking about our legacy today. And I really encourage students to do that by thinking about how can I graduate debt-free, because financial freedom equals independence and freedom. Feel free to connect with us on social channels at Startnoo, Startnoo. You can also visit our website, startnoo.com, Startnoo.com. And if you're interested in financial freedom and graduating debt-free, feel free to visit our free masterclass, which you can get at startnoo.com/financial freedom.